This shit more than a game.
Perfect.
The Saints schedule is officially out. And now we can finally deduce how would the 2020 Saints look this upcoming season. Now, can we actually predict how the 2020 Saints are going to look? Not necessarily. I mean, y'all, we got to understand that it's May. It's May. So technically, it's a little bit way too early to be making predictions. Hold on one second, y'all. So I don't think that there's I don't think that there is a real logic to making your season predictions in May 2026 because we all know a lot can happen. A lot can happen throughout a given season, especially from May all the way to September, where the real games are still in duration of happening. But that's not fun. God damn it, we're fans. This is not an analytics show. This is not a show full of analysis. This is a show to be a fanatic. That is why tonight we are going to go through the 2026 New Orleans Saints schedule. And we are going to predict, son, how the 2026 Saints are going to be. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Jahmal Mosley Show. Well, what, buddy? Say it. You damn right. It's more than a game.
From the stands, I'm invested. Every loss served like a lesson, we tested. Front porch talk turn to Sunday confessions. From dome to the block, it's all one connection. From Eric to Drew, Alvin to Cam, talk down on my squad. Boy, I be damned. I rap for the ones that never got fame, still yelling loud. This shit more than a game. Cause y'all know why? This shit more than a game. It ain't no lie. This shit more than a game. You know that's right. This shit more than a game. And y'all know why? This shit more than a game. Now I got Lil Jahmal sitting on my knee, teaching them young what it mean to believe. This bigger than scores is what we became. He gon' know off top, this shit more than a game. Clarissa in the back giving me all types of stress, but deep down she know the husband the best. She knows he's crazy, she know he's mean, but she know the kid 100% New Orleans. And y'all know why, this shit more than a game. It ain't no lie, this shit more than a game. You know that's right, this shit more than a game. And y'all know why, this shit more than a game. Yeah. When you see Jono scream, this shit more than a game. And when you see a Falcons fan, just call out for Jonathan. And yeah, this shit more than a game. New Orleans know this shit more than a game. Louisiana know this shit more than a game. Texas know this shit more than a game. Whole world know this shit more than a game. Y'all know why?
This shit more than a game. Ladies and gentlemen, happy Tuesday evening to all of you guys who dedicate your time to watching the Jahmal Mosley Show. Hopefully you enjoyed that appearance by the one and only Prince of the This Shit More Than a Game Kingdom, Lil Jon. He always says he has a lot to say, and then when I give him the microphone, he kind of is quiet. I think he was a little confused at seeing all them damn Falcons fans in the chat, and he was like, hold on, now, is this a Saints show or what? And I keep telling him it's not a Saints show, it's just a Jahmal Mosley show. But he's still learning, he's still learning, he's still being a little bit timid when it comes to being surrounded by Falcons fans. He's like, I don't know if we trust these people, Daddy. And we don't trust these people. But what we do trust is for all of you guys to leave a This Shit More Than a Game in the chat right now as we start off this Tuesday night edition of the Jahmal Mosley Show. And I know you guys have seen it by now. I did not go live when it came out, but last Thursday night, the NFL finally released the 2026 schedule for all 32 teams, and we got a chance to see the New Orleans Saints schedule. And so it's time where we can finally get a good sense of how we feel about the upcoming New Orleans Saints season. Now, one thing about this schedule is You look at the opponents, you look at when we play who, where we play who, et cetera, et cetera. But also remember, the Saints technically have the second best. I don't know if I should say second best or second worst, because I mean, technically it's the second best when you go by the fact that we're playing the most losing teams, I guess, of all the 32 teams this season besides Cleveland. But it also could be the second worst, given that it's called the strength of schedule. So, you know, you're going by the opponent win percentage. We're playing the second worst of that win percentage. Either way, the Saints seemingly, very much seemingly, you just go by the 2025 schedule and results, have a very easy schedule this year, which means it could possibly open up the door for the Saints to maybe make a playoff appearance and expedite this rebuild that a lot of us have confidence and faith in that we can realistically do. So I want to know what you guys think tonight. I know I always say, you know, it's too early to make predictions, yada, 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 but I'm throwing that all out the window because I say, God damn it, we are fans. And if I'm going to call myself the voice of the fans, then I need to be a fanatic. And I want to be a fanatic with you guys tonight and go over game by game the 2026 New Orleans Saints schedule. And we can decide, all of us, what our record prediction is for the New Orleans Saints. Maybe you guys might have us in the playoffs. Maybe you guys might have us winning the NFC South. Maybe you guys might have us a wild card. Maybe you guys might have us being close, but not close enough yet. I would love to hear you guys' opinion tonight. It's going to be a fun experiment. And we can go back in December 2026 and look at our predictions from May 2026 and say, wow, I was too confident. I was not confident enough. I was pessimistic too much. We'll see. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited about Saints football for the first time, like in a long time, as far as actually expecting good football on the field and possibly a playoff appearance. So let's get this show started off on the road. You guys are the co-host tonight. And again, we are going to go by each game of the 2026 NFL schedule for the New Orleans Saints. Starting, we're going to do this in 4-game increments. Okay, so we're going to do first four, then the next four, then the next four, then the next one. Then we're going to finish out with our game that is still to be determined against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at home, and seeing if that game is going to have any significance towards our playoff push and or the NFC South title. But first, what we're going to do is we are going to, give me a second, y'all. There's a new feature here on this lovely streaming platform I am on, where I can, I don't know if y'all see this in real time. Well, right now it's only visible to me, but hold on, give me 1 second. Show y'all something cool. This is what the great thing. This is what y'all super chats go to. All right, you see now, look, while I'm talking, we'll have the schedule on assignment, so y'all can see me and the schedule at the same time. You see, that's why people like Bruce saying not only gets his name on a dish shit more than the scoreboard, but he sees his super chats going to great use where we can upgrade our streaming platform and be able to give you guys the show that you deserve. So here is the schedule. There we go. There we go. To the left of me, right of you, wherever you're watching on your platforms. Let's go to the first 4 games, y'all. The first 2 games are going to be very, very tough. We are starting off with the Detroit Lions and the Baltimore Ravens. And then we have 2 home games against the Las Vegas Raiders and those damn Atlanta Falcons on Monday night to commemorate the 20-year anniversary of when we opened the Superdome and the Saints returned to New Orleans and we whooped that Falcons ass and Steve Gleason became a lifetime legend in the city of New Orleans. So I asked you guys, put it in your chat. Again, you guys are the co-host tonight. What is your prediction for those first 4 games? We got at Detroit Lions, at the Baltimore Ravens, at home against the Raiders, and at home against the Atlanta Falcons. What is your prediction for those first 4 games? Those first 2 games obviously was the thing that every Saints fan noticed right away. Those are going to be 2 extremely tough games. Yet I will counter with this. I know that the Lions and the Ravens are on paper really good teams, but the Lions and the Ravens did not make the playoffs last year. I think that's an important thing to consider. Like, hey, maybe the Detroit Lions and the Baltimore Ravens are on a downswing. What does the NFL love to pride itself on? Parity, right? So maybe the Lions and the Ravens aren't going to be as great as we all think that they are going to be. And maybe these are games that actually are more winnable in September than how we view it in May. But they are 2 tough teams. They're both on the road. Even though we have one of the best strength of schedules, we still start off the season with 2 extremely tough games. And I'm not mad at it, actually, by the way, y'all. Like, I'm glad that we start off against the Lions and against the Ravens on the road, because to me, it's going to be a good barometer to see what the Saints actually are possibly going to be in 2026. Like we are going to dump our chest out all season, off season long, and say the Saints are coming. The rebuild has been expedited. Watch out Atlanta, watch out Tampa, watch out Carolina. Well, there's no better way, in my opinion, to see if that is going to be legitimate than to start off with the Lions and the Ravens on the road and see what the Saints are made of. We might go 0-2. We might go 0-2, but I tell you what, if we actually competitive in those two games, I still feel good about our chances going forward in the 2026 season. I think if we go 1-1 in that stretch, we just get one of those wins against Detroit or Baltimore. It could be either one, I don't care. If we could go 1-1. If we leave Baltimore being 1-1, that is going to be a very good sign, if you ask me, for the future of the 2026 New Orleans Saints season. Because then you got to think that we are a better team and much further along than the Las Vegas Raiders. And at home, the home opener, we should be able to handle them. And then that Monday night Falcons game. I got respect for the NFC South in 2026. I'm not just going to be like, oh, NFC South, we're going to whoop their ass. I am, but I'm not like, seriously, I do think that all four teams are going to be a lot better than the analysts might think that they are. But to me, if we are going to split the season at worst, because I'm not going to predict the Falcons to sweep us, okay? But I will say I think that at minimum we should sweep them. Then you would think that it would be that Monday night game is going to be the one that we get at home in the Superdome, commemorating the 20-year anniversary of the Superdome reopening. That feels like a game that the Saints should absolutely win off of vibes, off of momentum, off of the home crowd advantage alone. So if you go 1-1 in those first two games and you find a way to win a game at Detroit or at Baltimore, and then you take care of business versus the Las Vegas Raiders and the Atlanta Falcons at home, you are 3-1 in the first stretch of the season. I'm going to go on a limb and say the New Orleans Saints will win one of those first two games against the Detroit Lions or the Baltimore Ravens, and then will take care of business at home by beating the Las Vegas Raiders and beating the Atlanta Falcons. And I have the Saints in that first full stretch of games going 3-1. I see y'all in the chat. I know y'all probably talking trash to all the Falcons fans. I get that, but please, let's stay on topic with the show tonight. Make your predictions right now for the first four games. What do you see the Saints doing in those first four games? I see Jerry G says he has us being 3-1, just like me. Pro P, if you're going to come on here and talk trash tonight, which is fine, like that's fine. For this exercise, though, I really want you to be serious. I don't want you to just be like, I'm being a hater, so I'm going to pick like the worst record. Like, I genuinely want you, Pro P, to pick, honestly, your thoughts on the 2026 Saints. So he has us at 1-3. Make sure y'all calculate and keep tabs on where you are picking so that when we're done with this exercise, we can see where everybody has us. But I have us at 3-1. I see my dude didn't put up that he called. I'm not a Zion hater. Me and Denham going back and forth on Twitter, having a very constructive criticism conversation, I thought, but you know how fanaticism is. People see it and go, you just hating on, not Denham, but people say, oh, well, because we're talking about Zion, we're hating on him, because I personally don't think that he's going to be that great as far as, all NBA level, but that's Twitter for you. My guy Dylan, what up, my guy? See, I appreciate you joining the show tonight. All right, Jay Boudreaux, Bordeaux, excuse me. He says, I'm going 2-2 to start the season. This division is so bad that we can start 0-2. So JB seems to think that we are going to lose at Detroit and at Baltimore, which would be acceptable and understandable. Like the Lions and Ravens, again, they were not playoff teams last year, but they are obviously on paper a better team than us, and definitely have been a better franchise than the New Orleans Saints for the past few years. And we're on a roll, right? So you can easily and understandably say that the Saints are probably going to start the season 0-2. But he does think that we get back on track at home versus the Raiders and against the Falcons. And again, Falcons fans, I see y'all in the chat. This is not necessarily me just being a hater. I got plenty of times to be a hater to the Falcons. I just genuinely think, like, I tend to always, when the Saints are in like top of the line contender, I always kind of lean towards splitting my NFC South game predictions for the season. So if I am going to do that, which I probably will, I'm going to split the Falcons series this year. I am going to just assume that, okay, well, the game that we are going to win is the one in the Superdome on Monday Night Football for the 20-year commemoration of the Saints Dome coming. So I got to go with the winner at that point. So I have us beating the Falcons in this stretch. Stay tuned to see if I think we could get Atlanta again in Atlanta in 2027 when we play them in January. The talented Mr. Ripley, who's at least a sensible Falcons fan in the chat, he says he sees us being possibly 2-2. He actually thinks that we can beat Detroit. Again, yeah, look, I don't think that Detroit and Baltimore are the big bad wolves that some of the Saints fans were acting like when they saw that we opened the season against them. But I will say that playing them in Detroit and in Baltimore makes those games considerably tougher. I'm interested. Like, I'm excited because it's going to be a good barometer for like, okay, Saints, are y'all for real or not? Like, let's see. Again, we lose, but if we lose 27-24 to Detroit, and then we lose, maybe 31-23 to Baltimore. I mean, based off those scores, and you got to see how the game flow goes. You feel a little confident, like, hey, okay, we're not necessarily on those levels, that level of those teams yet, but we show that we can hang with them, and then that makes you feel confident that, well, shit, of course we can then hang with the Raiders and the Falcons. Aaron Grimsley, what up, Aaron? He says, who that, Jono? Much respect. 3-1, or 2-2 to start. Well, he probably ain't gonna be on the show for the whole night, so he's going to finish with 10-7. Well, Aaron, if you hopefully join us tonight, I hope that you continue to do this exercise with us. But I would say pick one. I mean, come on, this shit more than the game. You gotta stand on business. So 3-1 or 2-2. What you going with for those first 4 games? I'm going with 3-1. I am, because now this is my bias. Like, if I wasn't a Saints fan, I'd be like, well, hell no, they ain't being the Raiders and the Lions and the Ravens at home. But because I'm biased, because I do have a little bit of confidence in what Kellen Moore and Tyler Shough are doing, I think one of these games is going to be like a game where the Saints kind of introduce themselves to the world. Like, honestly, I hope it's a Detroit Lions game because it's an NFC opponent. And that'll be a good way in week 1 to kind of come out and say, yo, watch out for the New Orleans Saints in 2026. Like, we here. We're not the Saints that y'all think of, the stigma y'all have around us that we ain't shit without Drew Brees and y'all wasn't paying attention to us when we were doing the damn thing in December 2025. Like, the Saints are here. And what better way to do that than to be one of the perennial darlings / contenders in the NFC the past few years, and the Detroit Lions going to Detroit, beating them, and sending Eminem home sad. So I'm going with 3-1. Again, biased, but I'm going with that. Aaron's having to stand on business, John. I'm going one well. My guy Dylan says 3-1. We beat Detroit and we lose to Baltimore. I'm nervous about a motivated Lamar. I'm just nervous about a motivated Lamar, depressed Lamar. I'm always nervous about Lamar, period. I guess we're not hating on the Saints, at least, right, Dylan? And the Know the Chop podcast says 3-1. Our only loss will be against the Ravens. I see some of y'all in the chat like, Beat Creole. Come on, man. Y'all take a part of this game. What do y'all see the Saints doing those first 4 games? So Jono Barnes, have the Saints at 3-1 going into the second stretch of the season. Let's get to the next 4 games of the season. Let me take this comment down right quick. Our next 4 games on the schedule are the Minnesota Vikings at home. So that's 3 straight home games we will have, by the way, y'all. I think we got to take advantage of that. I'm looking forward to the New York Giants game. I know it's not necessarily a big rivalry game, but the way the Giants fans have been talking spicy about Tyler Shough all season, that's actually one of the games, like maybe in my top 3, that I want to really win just to shut up the opposing fan base. Then we got the Pittsburgh Steelers in Paris. Boy, them international games are always interesting, right? I think it go either way because you just got that international aspect of it that just trying to throws a monkey wrench towards the whole game itself. And then we have a bye week, followed by the Cleveland Browns at home. So I ask you guys, in this 4-game stretch, what do you feel the Saints are going to be after leaving the Superdome against the Cleveland Browns? All right, let me go through the games myself. The Minnesota Vikings, I actually think, is a good team. That team always gives us fits. We haven't beat them in the playoffs in a while, but we beat them in the playoffs when they mattered the most. And that's all that we can tell the Vikings fans, no matter what they ever tell us. Remember that, y'all. Yes, we've had a bad history with the Minnesota Vikings, but when it mattered the most, who came out on top? But Bonnygate. Well, maybe y'all should have did Bonnygate if y'all won a championship in your lifetime. Shit, we don't lose any sleep about Bonnygate. But in this one, I'm not that bold and confident in New Orleans. Like, I just can't. Look, God, hear me. If the Saints are 4-1 after the Minnesota Vikings game, great. But I just don't see. I'm not that confident, y'all. I'm biased. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid this offseason. And my dish shit more than the game mug. Shout out to my dish shit more than a mom. I don't think I'm confident enough to say, oh, yeah, the Saints are going to be 4-1 after Minnesota Vikings. So I got the Vikings beating us. And then at the New York Giants. I mean, the Giants are a tricky team. Like, they actually had a lot of momentum the midpoint of the season when Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterboo were starting to ascend. And of course, they're in New York, so the national media is eating that shit up and gave the Giants like 5 primetime games this offseason. And, you know, Jackson Dart is the golden boy, which is why the Giants fans are so damn annoyed by the Tyler Shough talk, because they're like, hold on, Jackson Dart is supposed to be the golden boy. Everybody's supposed to be held in Jackson Dart is the next big day, not this Tyler Shough guy. Guarantee the Giants fans didn't watch any Tyler Shough game at all this past season to be making these declarations that them and their media is making. But whatever. That's not what we're playing on the field. There's the two teams playing. The Giants, I do think, are going to be a better team this year than last year, just like the New Orleans Saints. And it's in New York. So, like, I'm trying to, like, do this with a level head. Like, I want to be a fan, but I also want to do this with a level head. And then you got the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm not going to make my Giants pick yet. We got the Pittsburgh Steelers in Paris. I hope. I really do hope that we beat the Steelers because breaking news, y'all. We'll talk about that later, about the Paris game. I was able to find my wife's credit card, y'all. And it was one of the toughest times ever to fetch her credit card. Y'all know that, I've been able to get her credit card in the past to go to some away games and to some Saints games and buy some Saints paraphernalia. But this one was tough, man, because, boy, Paris is not cheap. So you had to go through a lot of security parameters to actually get the transaction to be approved. But I'm here and happy to announce tonight on the Jahmal Mosley Show that I was able to get my wife's credit card approved without her knowledge. And I will be going to Paris to watch the Pittsburgh Steelers play the New Orleans Saints. So I am picking probably this game with my heart, but I really hope the Saints win because I do not want to travel all the way to Paris to watch the Saints lose. I know the Steelers are a good team. Come on, man. At some point, Aaron Rodgers has to really fall off a cliff. And, I just don't really think the Steelers are probably going to be as good as their reputation precedes them this upcoming season. So I'm going to actually pick, you know what? And unfortunately, y'all, at first they said we were playing the Browns in Paris, but now they're saying we're playing the Steelers. So the Steelers fans travel well. So even though that's a home game for the New Orleans Saints, I am pretty confident, y'all. I am pretty confident that the Steelers fans are going to outnumber us in Paris. So, I told my wife, when she was yelling at me for using her credit card to buy the tickets to Paris, I was like, you don't understand, babe. Like, I'm holding it down for Saints fans because this is a home game for the Saints fans, and we are likely going to be outnumbered by the Steelers fans. So I say the Saints got to bring the best of their best fans out there in Paris to hold it down. And I feel like one Jahmal Barnes equals 10 Steelers fans, right? Like, I could cancel out 10 Steelers fans by myself. We're going to need some more diehard Saints fans in that building with us, too. But one Jahmal Barnes equals 10 Saints Steelers fans. So I feel like y'all need to add my wife on Twitter and let her know, like, this is not a vacation. This is a business trip for Jahmal. Like, he is trying to protect the New Orleans Saints home field advantage and to give back to the city of New Orleans. Do y'all agree in the comments? Let me know. So I'm predicting the Saints to beat the Steelers in Paris. They better, because I don't want to leave Paris being like, God damn, we lost to Aaron Rodgers and the goddamn Pittsburgh Steelers. Then we got out by a week. And then I do think we are a better team than the Cleveland Browns. We should beat the Browns on the road. But I cannot, in good faith, predict the Saints to go 3-1 again after I just predicted us to go 3-1 our first 4 games. So I'm going to go 2-2 in this stretch, which means I do think that the Vikings and the New York Giants are going to beat us. But I do think we get our lick back against the Steelers and the Cleveland Browns at home in the Dome and then at home in Paris. Let me get to the comments, and hopefully you guys are making y'all actual predictions too with this. Aaron says Shuck versus Sanders, Dart, Rodgers, and Kyler Murray. We are going to be 4-0. And we still don't know if Shador is going to be the starting quarterback. We don't know if we assume Kyler Murray is going to be the starting quarterback. Is Aaron Rodgers going to still be healthy? He's old. Like, how many times can he keep trying himself back out on the field? Say, I'm back, y'all. I'm back. We'll see. But Aaron has us at 4-0. Are y'all making y'all pick? I'm seeing a few, but let me see. Jerry, he has us at 6 wins. Wow, Jerry's very optimistic, which he should be. He's the godfather of Saints YouTube. 6 wins and 1 loss before a week 8. My guy Joseph, what up, Joseph? Thanks for watching on Facebook tonight. He has us at 5-3 after the first 4 games, and I would gladly take that because I have us right now at 5-3 as well. Mikey says after week 9, he has the Saints at 5-3 as well. Know the Chop podcast has us at 4-1. So right now, Know the Chop has. I hope Know the Chop and Jerry, you guys are right. So Know the Chop has us at 7-1. Jerry, you have. I need the first 8 games, Jerry, not before week 8. So you have it at 6-1. Do you have it at 7-1 or 6-2, Jerry? Let me know. A lot of optimism, obviously, with Saints fans. My guy B Creole. I'm assuming B Creole. I hope I'm right that you did this for the second 4 games, and you have us at 3-1. Is there any other? Is the Falcons fans making their picks? I don't think they made their picks for the first 4 game. Not that we need them. All right, so it seems like. All right, hold on. Here we go. Talented Mr. Ripley says, IDK about that next stretch for y'all. It's really a toss up on them 4. Y'all could go 3-1 or 1-3. It all depends on y'all O line and D line. That's not an answer, Mr. Ripley. Like, I don't know how y'all get down in Atlanta. I know y'all not used to finishing, but here in New Orleans we finish. Okay, so I need an answer. Is it 3-1 for the second stretch, or is it 1-3? Say it with your chest, Mr. Ripley. My pal, Retro Gamer, he has us at 6-2 after the first 8 games. Very interesting. I see a lot of positivity, it seems, with the New Orleans Saints fan base. So I have us at 5-3. Some of y'all have us at 6-2. Some of y'all have us at 7-1. Some of y'all have us also at 5-3. I have not seen anybody so far going through the comments one last time with us at 4-4. So everybody seems to think. I see Mikey, shout out to him. He probably can't be on the whole night. So he just gave us his whole predictions, and he has us finishing at 10-7. Excuse me, Pro P did make a comment. He put 3-5 is where I have y'all after the first 8 games with 2 wins against the Giants and the Browns. Now, I got a question for y'all. Do y'all think that the Steelers are that good? Like, I mean, again, the Steelers also did not make the playoffs last year. No, wait, excuse me, they did. They beat the Ravens in that classic Week 18 games. But, I mean, it wasn't like a sure ordained dominant playoff performance, right? Like, it was a fine playoff team that, I don't know. I mean, I just don't think I think the Steelers are kind of now going to be in that stretch where we were with Derek Carr, where the front office just couldn't accept that, hey, it might be better to rebuild a year earlier than to keep kicking the tires, down the road, hoping that, you could go in the playoffs and we'll see what happens. I think this is the year where it finally kind of starts to crumble a little bit for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I know that they are consistently usually at 9 wins or above 500, but Mike Tomlin ain't walking through that door. And I think Mike McCarthy is a better coach than he is given just due for. But I'm not high on the Steelers this year. So I do think that we can beat them. The problem is, again, we're playing this game in Paris, and that's a whole big X factor that, you just got to take into account. Like, okay, what's the injuries going to look like? What's the travel log going to be for both teams? That Paris thing is an X factor that you just can't really confidently, measure up or analyze before a game. But again, I'm going to be in Paris, so I really hope that we win that game. I really do. Jerry says the Falcons will be 0-17. Jerry also says, he has us beating the Lions, beating the Ravens, beating the Raiders, beating the Falcons. That's 3-1. Beating the Vikings, he has us at Jerry, pick the Browns game, Jerry. I keep saying do the first 8 games. You're stopping after the bye week. You got to pick the Browns game as well, Jerry. Jerry, you got us being the Ravens and the Lions and the Vikings, and then I damn sure I'm going to assume that you got us being Browns. So I got Jerry with us at 7-1. So, all right. So a lot of confidence. Let's get to the next stretch of the schedule. And that is the Carolina Panthers at the Chicago Bears, at the Cincinnati Bengals, and at home against the Green Bay Packers. I'm going to go with my OU faithful. I always kind of, unless a team is like really bad in the NFC South or really good, then I always kind of just split it. And that's what I'm going to do this season. I'm going to split the NFC South game. So because this is a home game against Carolina, I'm going to have us beating Carolina this go around. I think Chicago is going to be a top of the line NFC contender this year that I am going to say that we are probably going to lose at Chicago. The Bengals are an interesting team because you just never know with the Bengals, right? Sometimes they look like the best team in the league. Sometimes they look like the worst team in the league. Usually by late November and December, the Bengals are kind of on the roll. Like that's when they finally get their groove. Sometimes it's too little, too late, but that's usually where they start to kind of find their moxie a little bit. And because it's in Cincinnati, I'm going to go with the Bengals to beat the New Orleans Saints. And then the Green Bay Packers at home. Now, what makes this game interesting is it is the Green Bay Packers at home. Like we are in New Orleans, not in Green Bay. That's a big, big advantage for the New Orleans Saints. But the Packers are a good team too, man. The Packers are a really, really good team. So I think I am going to go. All right, if I go 1-3, then that would have the Saints at 6-6. I would have the Saints at 6-6 going into. That actually seems pretty logical. If I have the Saints go 2-2, then I would have the Saints at 7-5 going into the final stretch of the season. I'm gonna be biased. I'm gonna go 2-2. I think we beat the Green Bay Packers. I think that the home field gets us back on track and we find a way to beat the Green Bay Packers. And I honestly think we owe the Green Bay Packers one. They've found us the past few times. The last time was when we went up 21-3 and then we blew that lead. Packers fans were on my ass that week. I feel like this is one of the games that Jahmal Mosley gets us lick back. So I'm gonna go 2-2 in that stretch. I think we beat the Packers. I think we win the home games and we lose the road games. So we lose at Chicago, we lose at Cincinnati, but we beat the Panthers at home, and then we beat the Packers at home. So that would have me at 7-5 going into the final stretch of the season. Hopefully you guys are keeping tabs of your calculations as well. Aaron has us also going 2-2 in that stretch. Slim Sal has us going 6-2 before the first 4 games. I'll see if he makes this. All right, yeah, he did get to. And then he says after that, he has us at 7-5 going into the final 5 games of the season. That one Falcons fan for life has us going 7-10 overall. Not surprised. Pro P says 4-8 if that math is correct, because he thinks the Panthers are the only one. Only when y'all own them like we own. Y'all don't own shit, boy. Get the fuck out of here with that. Y'all don't own shit. I mean, Bryce Young owns y'all. The reason why Bryce Young is going to get paid is because he owns y'all, but we own Bryce Young. You're going to get stuff confused, Pro Pete. Well, man, you're going to talk trash. Come correct. My guy, Retro Gamer, he has us at 8-4 after the first 12 games. Northern Chop has us also going 2-2, losing the road games to the Chicago Bears and the Cincinnati Bengals. But he has us overall at 9-3. So a lot of you guys have the Saints like in playoff contention. Like, okay, I mean, I don't see any Saints fan in the chat so far saying that Pro P says this is so fun seeing the delusion. But Pro P, bookmark this show or whatever, so you can come back in December and say, yo, John, put up that clip when y'all were talking about y'all were going to be 9-3, 8. Put it up. Put it up. This is what the fun of being a fan is all about. One thing is, unlike your Falcons fans, Pro P, we show up rain or shine. We were talking big shit when we freaking signed Dennis Allen as our head coach, and you see the same people in the chat are still here some 5 years later after that disaster. All right, we don't go hiding like your Falcons fans whenever y'all realize that the Falcons have Falcon. Britt, who that? My girl, what up? She says 10-7 at least. Jared said that Bengals game is actually very winnable. Yeah, it is. I mean, I don't see any game on the schedule where I'm like, this team is a juggernaut. Like, we have no shot. I see some really good teams on the list, but I don't see Seattle Seahawks. I don't see Los Angeles Rams. I hate to say that out loud because I don't want Sean to hear that. But I don't see like no clear-cut juggernauts. Like, I mean, look, y'all, the Patriots went to the goddamn Super Bowl last year and they are in the juggernaut. So, like, you know, anything can happen. Now, I'm not saying that means the Saints are going to just wipe the floor with these teams. I'm just saying, like, there's no team that on this schedule really gives me fear. But I do have respect for a lot of these teams on the schedule. All right, so I have us again after the first 12 games. I had us at 2-2, 3-1. Hold on. I want to make sure I'm doing this right. Make sure I'm following my actual predictions. All right, so I have us at 7-5 going into that final stretch of the season, and I see y'all in the comments putting y'all predictions. So here we go. We are in the final 4 games before we get to that Tampa Bay game to decide whatever decides it. And this is going to be the biggest stretch of the season because we got all NFC South opponents on the road. This stretch is going to make or break the Saints. If the Saints can come out this stretch at 2-2, I think we should be in a very, very good spot, assuming that we do pretty solid the first 12 games of the season. But this stretch, we cannot go 1-3. We cannot. We got to get one of these games on the road against an NFC South opponent. Yet, unfortunately, I've done the thing so far where I've been predicting us to win the NFC South games at home, but lose the NFC South games on the road. And yet, here we are playing the NFC South opponents on the road in this stretch. This is going to be the biggest stretch of the season, y'all. I'm hoping that the Saints are actually still in playoff contention at this point because it will make some good content and some good drama for Saints fans going into middle of December where we got to play at Carolina, at Tampa Bay, and at Atlanta. I will say this, that Arizona game is a must win. Arizona is kind of in that state where the New Orleans Saints are this past season, where they are the whipping boy this season, off season at least, where everybody thinks that they're going to be easily the worst team in the league, them or Miami. We'll see about that. The Saints were predicted to be the worst team. We ended up having 6 wins. But that Arizona game at home has to be a must win. Like, you got to win. No, never mind even the fact that we're playing at Carolina, at Tampa Bay, and then at Atlanta in that stretch. Like, just overall, like for the whole season outlook, you got to win that Arizona game at home. So I'm giving us a win with that. Now, at Carolina, I already picked us to beat Carolina at home, so I'll give Carolina this win. At Tampa Bay, I haven't picked us in any Tampa Bay game because this is our first time playing Tampa Bay right now. So, all right, let's skip that. And then at Atlanta Falcons, I hate saying this out loud, y'all, but I want to be fair. I want to be fair. Again, I picked Atlanta to lose to us in a dome. I'll pick the Saints to lose at Atlanta. Just given a rivalry, it's very rare where, especially when the both teams aren't necessarily great. So it's kind of like, okay, well, then you could probably logically think that it's going to be a split this season. Now, if we sweep Atlanta, well, watch out, Falcons fans. Watch out. But I'm showing y'all some goddamn respect. I'm showing y'all some goddamn love. I'm going to have y'all beat us in Atlanta. All right? But that would mean I would have us going 1-3 if I have us losing to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And that would have us at 8-7. Excuse me. Yeah, let me see. Hold on. Do my math. I'm not a mathematician, y'all. No, I would have us what? I have us at 7-5 after the first 12 games. So then I would have us at 8 wins, and then 8. That would have us at 8-8. All right, 8-8. What I have? All right, hold on. Let me think about this out loud. This is a fun exercise, y'all, because I gotta see. Do I think the Saints can be 9-8? Because I have us in the playoffs this year. I really do. I'm optimistic. I don't know if 9-8 gets us in the playoffs. So I gotta go back against everything I just said. I think that for the Saints, y'all, this is a good exercise for me. This is now what I'm going to be able to say for the rest of the offseason. This is why I'm glad I did this. This is why I'm glad I did. I know a lot of y'all feel like y'all got us out already. 9 wins, 10 wins, that we could lose these next 3 games and y'all still think we in a good spot. I think this stretch is that important that not only do we have to beat Arizona at home, we got to get one game against one of these NFC South teams. We got to get one game on the road against the NFC South team. We, now that I'm talking out loud, have to go at least 4-2 in the NFC South to be in the playoffs this year, if you ask me, or to win the NFC South. We got to go 4-2. I'm kind of spoiling who I'm going to pick for the final game against Tampa Bay at the Superdome, but I don't know if 3-3 is going to be good enough. I mean, maybe 9-8 does get us to the playoffs, which is great if it does. But I do think, I think that we got to go 4-2. This is me going by my dog process and how I'm going down the schedule. I think we got to go 4-2. We got to get one game at least on the road. We got to protect home against the NFC South, and then we got to get one game on the road against the NFC South. So of these 3 NFC South teams, which team do I think we go on the road and beat? I kind of think Tampa Bay is due for a bad season. Like, last season wasn't a good season for them, but like, I think this is a year where Tampa Bay finally kind of has the wheels come off. They fire Ty Bowles type season. I really do. I think this is a year where Tampa Bay finally kind of realizes their place as the basement dwellers of the NFC South. I think we could beat Tampa Bay. That's what I'm going with. I thought I was probably going to say, oh, no, we're going to beat the Falcons at home too. No, I would get the Falcons to win at Atlanta. I think we beat Tampa Bay on the road. I think we beat the Arizona Cardinals. I have us going 2-2 in this stretch, which would have the New Orleans Saints at 9-7 after the first 16 games of the season. Let me see what you guys think. And y'all, Britt says she's going to be at the home game against the Falcons. I hope you are, Britt. I hope you are, because I know that the Saints can't lose with Britt. And on a 20-year commemoration of the Dome coming, ain't no way we losing that. Well, hold on now. You see y'all getting overzealous. I say don't make y'all pick for the Buccaneers weeks. I guess that's week 18. Yeah, the week 18 game. Yeah, I want to, because for some of us, y'all, that game might determine the NFC South. That game might determine the playoffs. Man of God says he thinks Tampa's going to win the NFC South, which is fine. I think all 4 NFC South teams, Man of God, has a legitimate argument to feel like they have a chance at winning the NFC South. So I'm not mad at whoever picks the Falcons, whoever picks the Bucks, whoever picks the Panthers. I'm not mad at. I'm not mad at all. Let me see some more comments. Some of y'all just making y'all final predictions, which is fine. Retro Gamer says 11-6 from your lips to God's ears, the football God's ears. He thinks we lose 2, and then we final 3 South NFC South champions, and we are going to be the 3rd seed. Slim South says 10-7, but he thinks he'll be optimistic and go with 11-6. No the Chop podcast says we are going to be 3-2. We are losing to the Bucks and the Falcons, but his record prediction will be 12-5. Aaron is like the only one who's actually been following this game by the rules and going 4 games at a time. He says it's going 2-2 in that stretch. Mr. Ripley says if the Aints go 11-6, the Mount Dirty Birds are going to go 13-4, and your dreams, kid. Britt is 9-1, y'all, at home game. So maybe we need to start a super chat fund to get Brittany to go to every goddamn Saints game if she's 9-1. So either way, though, y'all, I have us at 9-7 going into that final game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at home. And that, to me, would probably decide the NFC South. I don't see any other NFC South team running. I don't see Carolina or Atlanta having 11 wins by this point. And I think maybe even if they have 10 wins, the schedule might work in our favor where if we beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, we win the tiebreaker over Atlanta or Carolina. So I think that Tampa Bay Buccaneers game is going to have a lot of drama and stakes to it, going by how I have been making my predictions so far. And y'all know there ain't no way that I'm going to get on this show in May, in June, in July, August, September, October, November, damn sure not in January 2027, and say, oh yeah, with the NFC South title on the line, the Saints are going to lose to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at home. I have us beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at home with a final record of 10-7. Now, here's my only annoyance with my prediction. I feel like 10-7 is a bit of a cop-out. I feel like unless you feel super confident about your team, like you know for sure that your team is going to be a legitimate contender, a Super Bowl contender, or unless you really feel like your team is going to be really bad this upcoming season, 10-7 seems to always be like the safe zone that fans of all 32 teams pick when it comes to predicting the 2013 season. ESPN even did a segment on it during the schedule release show, where they kind of did a fun segment about how 10-7 is the most picked record whenever fans and media do predictions, because it's easy, right? Like it's like, okay, well, we don't know if this team is going to be good. We don't know if this team is going to be bad. We kind of think they're going to be good. So 10-7 seems like it's safe. So I feel like I'm making a safe pick by going 10-7. I'm not going out on a limb, right? But I mean, that's just how I feel when it's shit more than a game. Like I'm not like, oh, the Saints are going to be like y'all. For all of y'all saying 11, 12 wins, y'all realize, right? Like 11 and 12 wins is Super Bowl contender status. What was the Seahawks record last year, y'all? Like, this is what y'all are saying. But I want y'all to kind of put some responsibility to y'all picks. Let me see if I could. Let me see what the regular season record was for the Seahawks. All right. Well, excuse me. The Seahawks went 14-3, but the Rams, that's what I'm thinking of. They went 12-5. The Rams were a legitimate Super Bowl contender at 12-5. For all of you guys saying 12-5, 11 wins, do y'all realize, right? Like, that's not just, oh, you know, they're a playoff team, you know, good little leap this year. Y'all are saying, oh, the Saints are a Super Bowl contender. Like, if you go 11-12 wins, you are a legitimate contender, in my opinion. I, as confident as I am with the New Orleans Saints, am not quite ready to put the Saints in that top of the line echelon with other NFC South teams saying, 11 wins, 12 wins, 13 wins. God, I hope I'm wrong. Like, I hope that you guys who are optimistic are completely right. That Tyler Shuck really is everything we thought he would be and more. And he gives us 11, 12, 13 wins. But I just want y'all to put some responsibility to these picks. If you guys got the Saints at 11 wins, 12 wins, y'all got to realize y'all are saying that Saints are a legitimate Super Bowl contender. Because there ain't no 11-win, 12-win team just to, oh, yeah, you know, they got 11 wins, but they're not. Like, you guys are saying, hey, my team is a Super Bowl contender. So I want to ask you guys, now that I said that out loud, are y'all standing on business? For everybody who has us at 11 wins and 12 wins, do y'all legitimately think the New Orleans Saints are top of the line NFC contenders? Because if you're picking us to win 11 or 12 wins, you are saying that the Saints are top of the line NFC South, not NFC South. Y'all are saying that the Saints are NFC contenders. Aaron says, Jonathan Barnes, I'm this shit more than a game certified. I'm standing on business. The Saints are Super Bowl contenders. Slim South says, I am standing on business. I ain't mad at it. I'm not mad at it. I'm not there yet. I mean, if we go 3-1 in that first 4 games, I might be with y'all. But I in good faith cannot say in May or the Saints are going to be Super Bowl contenders and we're going to win 12 games. I think 10-7 is a bit of a safety net of a pick. I totally stand on that, I'm not going on a limb, which isn't really too fun, but I do think it is where the Saints kind of hover around 9-8, 10-7. But I do think that will be good enough for us to win the NFC South at 10-7. If we are 9-8, it's kind of a iffy because maybe Carolina, Atlanta, Tampa Bay find themselves at 10-7, or maybe they go 9-8, but they got tiebreakers over us. That's where it gets interesting. I think 10 wins is kind of that safe zone in 2026 to win the NFC South. But I can't say 11 wins and I cannot say 12 wins because that's just now you're going above, like you're saying, oh, forget the NFC South. Like the Saints are, we're going to be better when the Seahawks and the Rams this year. And maybe we will because nobody had the Patriots in the Super Bowl last year, right? That's the beauty of the NFL. That's what they like to promote. Parity. You never know. One year you're the Washington Commanders and you're picking top 3 in the draft. The next year you are a few quarters away from making it to the Super Bowl. That is the beauty of the NFL. Maybe Tyler Shuck goes on that type of run. I would love it. Good God Almighty, my channel would love it. There would be so much more exposure than with the sad-ass 5 years for the team has been like. But I just in good faith right now can I say, oh, yeah, watch out. The Saints are going to be Super Bowl contenders in 2026. I think there's still some baby steps that we got to take before we get to that level. But I do love all of y'all's confidence. I do love all of y'all. Jerry says, I'm tired of the last 5 years missing the playoffs and everyone in the playoffs, but not the Saints. I think we all are, Jerry. Even the Falcons fans are probably tired because they actually have a longer playoff drought than all of us. Jared says, watch out for Brandon Staley. He's going to be the reason why we are a top team because he's going to have our secondary in lockdown mode. Pro P says, you guys are going to have built-in excuses by August for why y'all are going to have another losing season. I think in August, the Kool-Aid is going to be on maximum sugar overload, Pro P. Maybe October, if the Saints ain't doing too hot, you could start seeing some excuses. But I think in August, you're going to get some great still Saints optimism. Excuse me. You a Falcons fan. Get the hell out of my face with that comment, dude. But I saw a viral clip today where they're showing Michael Penix and Tua Tagovailoa throwing at practice. And all I got to say is God bless you, Falcons fans. Y'all in for a hell of a year. You guys are in for a hell of a year. The only reason why I'm not picking us to sweep, y'all, is because it's the Saints and Falcons rivalry. All right, I'm giving y'all that credit. But good Lord have mercy, boy. Y'all quarterback situation. Y'all quarterback situation. You know what I'm going to laugh at, Pro P? You know what I'm going to laugh at? I'm going to laugh at the fact that you guys were in such denial in January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August about the fact that y'all quarterbacks are Michael Penix and Tua Tagovailoa. That's what I'm going to laugh at. Like, good Lord have mercy. Come on now. You knew it. Tua Tagovailoa and Michael Penix were wearing black and gold. You guys would be cackling right now saying, good God Almighty. Thank God that our biggest rival has Tua Tagovailoa and Michael Penix as their quarterbacks. But good God Almighty, God bless fanaticism, because you guys have to talk yourselves into Tua Tagovailoa and Michael Penix the way we had to talk ourselves into Derek Carr. So we actually know what you guys are going through, Falcons fans. We empathize with y'all a little bit. But we know how it ends. Y'all know how it ends too. Y'all just got this bravado right now because y'all don't want to see, y'all don't want us to see y'all sweat. But we all know how this ends. Because again, y'all quarterbacks are Tua Tagovailoa and Michael Penix. Get out of here with that, Falcons fans. Get out of here with that. Any more comments before we get to our next segment? Retro says, I am standing on 11-6, a third seed, because we played a third place West team. We're not getting past any of the NFC West teams. A few more pieces are needed before we get into the Super Bowl, but he still thinks that 11 wins is on the table. Jerry says he is standing 10 toes down. He believes that we are a top-of-the-line contender. The Know the Chop podcast says, that's how much faith I have in my team, Jono. I truly believe they can win 12 games. I stand on that and this shit more than a game. All right, here's the thing. I'm not, chastising y'all. I'm not saying, wow, you guys are idiots for thinking that the Saints are going to just go from 6 wins to 12 wins, okay? I mean, it's happened before with many teams. Ever with the Saints in 2005 to 2006, right? Remember, we were the second worst team in the league. We were a second half away from going to the Super Bowl in Chicago the next year. That's the beauty of the NFL. Maybe it happens again for the Saints this year. I just don't see it, but I hope so. But I do know one thing. I know that you, Aaron, I know that you Know the Chop podcast. I know that you, Jerry, I know that you all are going to be here in the chat December and in January, rain to shine. If we wind up only winning 6 games again, 7 games, if we come short of the playoffs, I know you guys are still going to be on this chat with your head held high. Unlike those Falcons fans who always come and infiltrate my mentions and my comments when the Falcons do good against the Saints, but then when the Falcons go back to being the Falcons, when the Falcons gone Falcon, they are nowhere to be found. All right. I know that. I know that you guys are all going to be here in this chat in January. I know you guys are going to be in this chat in January. The question is, will the Falcons fans be in this chat in January? I've seen the script many times before. We all know the answer to that. Here's a gift just for you for being a fan. Are you going to a sports game or a concert or any major event? Well, buy your tickets from SeatGeek and use the promo code JONO at checkout, and you can receive $20 off your purchase over $50. That's $20 off your purchase. What are you waiting for? You know this shit more than a game, man. And before we get to our next segment, I want to give this shit more than a thanks to everybody who left the super chat on my show last week when we had the great TJ Jones on the show. Man, what a great time that was, right? Just love having my guy TJ on the show, talking sports with him. We will definitely be running that back on his channel and on my channel in the future. But shout out to Bruce Saint. I don't even see Bruce Saint in the chat tonight, which is kind of maddening because I had a question for Bruce Saint tonight, and I'm mad that he's actually not in the chat tonight. So I guess I'll have to wait till next week to ask him. My guy, Who That For Life Chris, who I just seen popped up in the chat. What up, Who That For Life Chris? Thank you for the super chat. And to Super King Cooper, who I haven't seen his name too much in the chat in the past, so I'm assuming maybe TJ brought him to my channel. But shout out to all of you guys for leaving the super chat. Remember, every super chat we get, we invest right back into the show. Stuff like small things like this, y'all. God, I gotta get this right. No, wait. All right, here we go. Small things like just being able to have these type of graphics available on my streaming platform because I bought a higher quality streaming platforms to give you guys a better show, right? So that when we're talking about the schedule, you guys can see the schedule and me in real time. It's small things like that, things that the average viewer does not notice, but things that me now being a producer of my own show likes to try to, elevate the viewers' viewership. I'll tell y'all many times, I don't play with y'all time, man. Like y'all dedicate Tuesday nights to me, and I try to give y'all the best possible viewing experience possible. And again, the super chats helps with that because every super chat we get, we invest right back into the show. Now look, we ain't got no super chats today, which is fine. Like, I'm not gonna beg y'all for money every week, but just know this: every super chat we get, besides going back to the show, if you leave a $10 high super chat, you can have your name on the This Shit More Than the Game scoreboard. Bruce Saint lives for his name to be on the scoreboard. Like I see right now, like imagine if your name was on the scoreboard. How cool would that be, right? If you want your name on the scoreboard, all you got to do is leave a $10 or higher super chat, and you can be This Shit More Than the Game certified the way Bruce Saint is. And so whenever we go back on this show in a few months when the Falcons fans are trying to one-up the Saints fans, they might be like, ha, y'all were so optimistic about the Saints, but they're also going to be able to see always and forever that Bruce Saint was This Shit More Than the Game certified. And if we do get a super chat today, what I'll do, y'all, for y'all, just swing any super chat. It could be any super chat. It could be $2.83. I'll play a very rare skit from yours true, of course, Ziggy. All right, hold on. Well, first off, Ziggy, thank you for the super chat because obviously he wants his name in the on the scoreboard. Ziggy, dog, the community misses you, man. Where you at, dog? Where you at, Ziggy? Ziggy, the community misses you. Like, it's been a while. I don't think we've had you on the show, Ziggy, since December. It's been a while. People want to know your thoughts about the draft. They want to know your thoughts about the 2026 season. They want to know your thoughts about free agency. Do you think Kamara comes back? Do you think Cam is coming back? Do you think your boy Taysom is coming back, Ziggy? They miss you, Ziggy. I'm telling you what the comments are always telling me. They're like, where's Ziggy at? Is Ziggy still on the show? I say, yeah, he still is, but he's just doing his little thing right now. But Ziggy, thank you. Y'all, man, show some love to Ziggy in the chat. Leave a thank you, Ziggy, in the chat. Because of that, we're going to play a very rare skit from the Jahmal Mosley show that hasn't been seen in about 4 years. When I was just starting off doing my content, that a lot of you guys wasn't following me back then. So a lot of you guys probably never have seen the skit before. But every story has a beginning, right? And so you guys can see one of my first skits ever. Because of Ziggy. So leave a thank you, Ziggy, in the chat right now. And hopefully we get Ziggy back on the show in the near future so he can talk Saints football with all of you guys. Slim South says, what up, Ziggy? Again, y'all, come on. Y'all not doing the best job with following directions. I say leave, there you go. Leave thank you, Ziggy, in the chat, like the Know the Child podcast and Slim South there. Ziggy says we got to put in a word for our governor to let him off. There's a lot of things we got to put in a word to our governor about, but that's not here nor there. Shout out to Aaron. You see, Ziggy, you are loved. Ziggy, come on, man. Come back on the show, Ziggy. People want to hear from you. We need you to upload. Yeah, you see, Ziggy, like your impact is everlasting. Ziggy, like people with your theme song. And we only play like one time, Ziggy, because you don't come on the show anymore, dog. And we know that we got this great theme song we did for Ziggy and everything, dog. And Ziggy only used it one time and then say bye, y'all. What a tease he is, bro. He's more of a tease than a prime date night. Come on, man. Look at that. Come on, Ziggy. They begging you, Ziggy. They on their knees at the temptation. Say that we ain't too proud to beg. I love it, though. Ziggy, thank you for the super chat. Because of that, we are going to play a rare skit from the early days of the Jahmal Barnes channel. Even Falcons fans singing your praises, Ziggy. But Mr. Ripley also had another good comment. He said, for the love of Jesus, please let Taysom. I like Mr. Ripley because he's at least realistic. Like, Falcons fans always talk trash about Taysom Hill, but realistically, Taysom owned the Atlanta Falcons. Like, Taysom, if there was one game Taysom Hill would get up for, it's the Atlanta Falcons. Like, he owned those guys. Whatever happened. Well, I turned off the voicemail. It's Chop podcast, so he can't leave a voicemail with the voicemail hotline up. But when the voicemail hotline does come on, I will DM him and say, hey, it's back on if you want to say something. Maybe I'll do it in the next few months. I'll open up the because it's been a hot minute since I've done voicemails, and I know a lot has happened since then. So maybe I'll open up the voicemail line in a few weeks, and I'll announce it on my YouTube community page for you guys if y'all do want to leave voicemails. I know it's been a while. So I'll definitely put that on my Danes to possibly do for future episodes, is let you guys maybe even do a live show where you guys can call in live. Imagine a live James call. I don't know if that's possible, given that he uses AI for his calls, but you never know. Ziggy, they want you. But like I was saying, Taysom owns the Falcons. But unfortunately, y'all, I think we have seen the last of Taysom Hill's ownage of the Atlanta Falcons. Because if you guys were following the news the past week, Mickey Loomis and Saints head coach Kellen Moore spoke yesterday at the Saints Hall of Fame Golf Classic. And here's what they said about some of our favorite Saints legends, starting with Alvin Kamara. And Mickey Loomis said, from Luke Johnson, Mickey Loomis remains non-committal publicly on Alvin Kamara. We are just trying to see how he's going to fit on our roster. Obviously, there's a resource management element. We'll get to that over the next week or two. Well, y'all, camp is about to start in like a week, right? In 2 weeks, like, they can't keep using this, we'll see. Like, you got to make a decision soon. Like, you keep saying, how does he fit on your roster? The draft is about damn near close to being a month done now. Like, what do we have to see? It's Alvin Kamara. Like, is he in Kellen Moore's plans or not? To me, I told y'all this many times, it's clear as day. Kellen Moore does not have a vision for Alvin Kamara. Or if he does, he doesn't have a huge vision for Alvin Kamara. And at least Mickey was finally a little bit more honest and said resource management. Resource meaning money. This is basically what it is. Like, the Saints do not want to pay Alvin Kamara $10 million this season to be the backup running back. Hell, maybe even the third string running back. We just don't know what Kellen Moore's vision is. So he's finally kind of softly saying the quiet part out loud. Is that, hey, Alvin Kamara, you got to take a pay cut if you want to stay on the team. But they are the Saints. They are a family-run operation. And so they're not as cutthroat as other teams are saying, yeah, he ain't going to be on our team. You're getting cut. You're getting traded. They're trying to either be graceful with saying, Alvin, you are no longer a Saint, or they're trying to say, Alvin, please take a pay cut. We want you on the team, but we don't want you at $10 million. It's going to be interesting to see what Alvin does with this. But something needs to be resolved because, again, y'all, camp starts in about, minicamp starts in about, I think it's next week or the week after. And like, come on, we got to know, like, is Alvin a part of the plans or not? Like, this is the time of the year now where we start to build our 2026 game plans and beyond. It can't be, we still don't know about Alvin Kamara. You're damn right y'all know what Alvin Kamara's future is. Y'all did free agency already. Y'all did the draft. We got Travis Etienne. We know Etienne is going to be the number one back. Is Alvin Kamara in y'all plans or not? I know that they got to be politically correct. Like, I know back behind the scenes, Mickey Loomis and Kellen Moore, 100% they know what they want to do with Alvin Kamara. They just don't want to be, they have their ways of how they approach it publicly. I get that. They're not, I can't knock them for not coming out and saying, yeah, we want Alvin Kamara to take a pay cut. Like, I know that they got to be politically correct. I know the Saints are always going to operate under vagueness, unless they absolutely have to be transparent. So I get all that. I understand all that. But I'm just talking as a fan. Like, we all should know, y'all, like, Alvin Kamara's future is in limbo. And I think that the only solution for him to be a Saint in 2026 at this point is he's got to take a pay cut. Now, Alvin could say, hold on, y'all came to me, I think it was 2 years ago at this point now, 3 years ago, offered me this extension. Alvin said, I'm not holding out. I'm not, being a nuisance. I'm not being a distraction. I'm not being a headache. I'm honoring my contract. That's on y'all. Y'all can't move with this extension. Y'all say, hey, we'll pay you $10 million in 2026. That's a y'all problem. So y'all better make that tough decision if y'all want to cut me or not. But I'm just doing my damn due duty. I signed this contract. I'm honoring it. And I got no problem with Alvin Kamara doing that. I told y'all this on the show last week. I got no problem with the players standing on business and saying, hey, my contract is my contract. But the Saints obviously do not want to pay Alvin Kamara $10 million in 2026. That wasn't the only update we got. The media also asked about the future of Cam Jordan and Taysom Hill. Now, this one was a little bit more interesting to me because Mickey Loomis also said, according to Ross Jackson, when the question was asked, that Cam Jordan has a contract offer from the Saints, but Taysom Hill does not. Now, that is very interesting because if Cam Jordan has a contract offer from the Saints, then clearly Cam Jordan feels like that contract is not up to his standards, and Cam Jordan wants more money. The thing, though, is Cam Jordan, this is May 19, 2026, y'all. Like, at this point, all the teams have signed their priority free agency signings. There's not going to be any big money signings, I think, left for the rest of the offseason, right? It's very rare for a trade or two can happen after, June, but usually the big contracts have been given out by now. So Cam must think that, hey, I do have leverage, and there is a chance that another team will come calling me saying, I'm going to offer you more money than the New Orleans Saints. But I would have to imagine that right now, no team has called Cam and said, we're going to offer you a bigger offer than the New Orleans Saints, because if they did, then Cam would buy a ticket by now, right? So for Cam to have a contract offer, this seems like it's a blanking game. Who's going to blank first? Are the Saints going to say, it seems like the Saints actually are saying, take it or leave it, dude. Like, this is our contract. You either like it or you don't. If you think that you could do better, do better. But we'll be more than happy to take the risk and see, if another team I don't say overpaid, but gives you more money than us. And Cam seems to be, maybe Cam's just like, well, shit, I ain't got to rush it. Like, shit, I can sign the day before the season, like he's at 14 years now. He can say, I don't need training camp. I don't need mini camp. I don't need to put my body through that. I'll do my own workouts. And, if no team wants to give me a big contract before the season, well, then, yeah, I'll sign with the Saints, but y'all ain't getting me in mini camp. Y'all not getting me in training camp. It's interesting. The most interesting thing, though, y'all, was where the most, it's obvious what the future is at this point now. Taysom Hill does not have a contract. I also saw today that Taysom Hill put his house up for sale, which means y'all know what it means. Taysom Hill is not going to be a New Orleans Saint in 2026, which I think we all expected, right? Is anybody surprised in the chat that Taysom Hill is not going to be a Saint in 2026? Damn, I even did like a ode to Taysom Hill on my show last season, because after that Jets game, it was pretty obvious to everybody who had common sense. I know common sense ain't common, but it was pretty obvious that the Saints kind of used that Jets game as Taysom's goodbye in the Superdome, where, we let Taysom go out with a banger, right? And, Taysom was very emotional after that game. It was pretty obvious that, this might be Taysom's last game as a Saint. And seems to be true. I don't ever see anybody selling their house and then signing the contract with a team. So I think Taysom is definitely going in, obviously, because we haven't offered him a contract. The question is Taysom going to retire, or is he still waiting for another team? Because I feel like if a team was going to offer him a contract, like Sean Payne would have signed him by now, right? Y'all know Sean Payne loves Taysom Hill. So my prediction is that Taysom is going to wait until he doesn't want to fully commit to retirement yet. Like, he wants to see how the season plays out. I don't think Taysom wants to go through the grind of a 17-game season, but he will possibly entertain if a contender, not any team, but it has to be a contender. Like, if a contender comes calling him in December, if the Broncos are good again, and Sean Payne says, hey, Taysom, I think that you can be an X factor for us to get over the hump in January. Do you want to come on the team and play for us these final few weeks? That's what I think Taysom is trying to wait out. Like, okay, I could come sign with the Broncos, in late December. I have a fresh body, and I can give it one last push for a playoff run. But I don't see that happening with the Saints. Now, maybe it works out beautifully, poetically, Disneyland, happily ever after, and, the Saints are real good in December, and Kedemore said, I actually think Taysom has a role in this team, and Taysom, do you want to come back and play for us, these last few games for our playoff push? Maybe there is a world where that happens. I just don't see it. I think Taysom, his time in New Orleans is done. When that becomes official, we will celebrate him again, because he is absolutely a Saints Hall of Famer. He is the owner of the Atlanta Falcons. It was a damn good run. It's sad to say goodbye to players like Taysom and DeMario because they should have a ring. Like if they had a ring, this would be so much easier to say goodbye to those guys. Like, hey, we had our run, we got a ring out of it. We should have a goddamn ring out of it. Everything worked great, but because we don't have a ring out of it, like it's tough to say goodbye to DeMario. It's tough to say goodbye to Taysom. It's tough to possibly say goodbye to Alvin Kamara and Cam Jordan. But Taysom is gone. Cam and AK is still TBD, but they're obviously not solidified as New Orleans Saints. So it's going to be interesting to see. I still, in my heart of hearts, y'all, I think that the team is better in 2026 with Alvin Kamara and Cam Jordan. So I hope that Cam signs the contract. But again, Cam, get your money, bro. If you think that the Saints are lowballing you, if you think that you could get a better contract with somebody else, it's business. I'm not going to feel any type of way if you go to the Kansas City Chiefs or somewhere. Kamara, if you feel like I'm not taking any type of pay cut, y'all wasn't asking me to, get paid more money per performance when I was a rookie, doing great numbers and I was getting paid the rookie wage. So why do I got to take a pay cut when I'm not performing up to my standard when I have top running back money? I'm playing empowerment on that. Like, hey, if you could play when you ain't making the great money, then you damn sure can play when you are making the great money. It's a brutal game. It's a barbaric game. Make your money, players. I'm not mad at Kamara. I'm not mad at the Saints either. The Saints are saying, hey, AK, we get it, but it's business. We are moving to the future. More power to the Saints. I don't think that Kamara's cap hit, given where we are as a salary cap right now, is that drastic, though, for us to be doing this. Like, look, he has 1 year left on his contract. Let him play it out. Like, it is what it is. We're not going to sign anybody in 2026 if we cut a trade Alvin Kamara. There's going to be a needle mover. We're not. So let him play it out. Let him get the farewell tour in New Orleans. And then in 2027, he's off the books. And y'all can say, goodbye, Alvin. We have no commitment to you anymore. Thank you for the great 10 years it would be as a New Orleans Saint. That's how I feel. I think that Kamara and Cam would make the team better. I understand, though, that Kamara's role would be extremely limited because it seems like it's clear as day that Kellen Moore, I told y'all this last week, it reminds me of Sean Payne and Joe Horn. I love Joe Horn, but Sean Payne obviously did not have the vision long-term for Joe Horn. Sean Payne was just more ruthless, and he said, okay, after one season with Joe Horn, he said bye. But Kellen Moore seems a little bit more gentle, and it's like, well, maybe I'll cut him, maybe I don't. But I don't think Kamara fits into the vision of Kellen Moore that he did with Sean Payne, with Clint Kubiak, with all those guys. So even if Kamara's back, I do not see a big role for him in 2026, unless, and I hope this doesn't happen, but unless A-Chan gets hurt, I don't see a big role. And even if A-Chan got hurt, I still think Kellen Moore might opt for Devin Neal before he went to Kamara. But it'll be interesting to see on that front. And Cam, I think we are a better team with Cam. Maybe you guys disagree. I know some fans are just like, hey, we got to move to the future. And I get that. I was one of the main ones y'all saying, look at the windshield, stop looking at the rear mirror in New Orleans. I get that. But I also, if I want to play a bit of devil's advocate, like losing all of your leaders in one offseason is a lot. Like if you come away with this offseason and we lost DeMario, Taysom, Alvin, and Cam, that is a lot of leadership to be lost in one season. And y'all may not remember this, but I'm old enough to remember when we did get rid of all of our veteran leaders in one offseason, like with the Saints, when we let Malcolm Jenkins and a few other leaders leave the Saints. And then we signed like Brandon Brown and all that. And y'all remember how bad it got in the locker room? Freaking Junior Gillette was our locker room leader. And we saw how that ended up, right? Like losing a lot of veteran leadership at once could be detrimental to a team, especially a young team. So that is why I also think, okay, look, I don't mind, we say goodbye to DeMario. We're clearly saying goodbye to Taysom. But, let Cam and AK finish out their years in New Orleans. And at least from a leadership standpoint, right? Like we still need some leadership. I know that we're moving to the future. I'm excited that we're moving to the future. But Tyler Sheck isn't in his final form yet, right? He's not that top of the line. He's going to get there, I believe, maybe this season. But he's not that clear cut. This is the guy, our locker room leader. Like you still need veterans like Kamara. I know we got Justin Reed, so he can play that role. But I still think like a Kamara, Cam Jordan is valuable in that aspect. And even from a business standpoint, I don't think that either's contract is that detrimental to the salary cap in 2026, at least, that we got to play this game. But I don't mind the Saints playing the game. I don't mind Alvin Kamara and Cam Jordan playing this game because I know that there's shit more than the game. All right, I've been rambling a lot. Let me see what you guys got to say in the chat. Bruce Saint, what up, Bruce? I didn't see Bruce Angel on the chat. Bro, I got a question for you in my next segment. Hopefully you stay on. I would love to see these guys stay, but if they leave, I'm fine. Regardless, this is Kellen's team now. Vernell asked, what about Kenny Moore? I would not be mad at signing Kenny Moore. Do we need to trade or restructure Alvin Kamara to sign Kenny Moore? I feel like we got enough money as it is. Like, if we really wanted Kenny Moore, we could sign him right now without worrying about Kamara and or Cam joining. But I'm not a salary cap analyst, so I won't be able to tell you. Britt, I know Britt was going to say this because I seen her tweeting about this on Twitter. This is going to be real emotional for Britt if Alvin Kamara were to leave. So, Britt, you are in my prayers. She says, Alvin needs to stay. He and H-Chan will complement each other very much. I agree. I think that we are a better team with H-Chan and Kamara than just with H-Chan. Not LA Who That says, we need the leadership, but business is also business. So he kind of agrees with me. The No Chop podcast says, not surprised on Taysom Hill. His time is up. Yeah, I do think Taysom's body is kind of at its last bit. Like I said, if he does play the season, I feel like it has to be I'm signed with the team in December. Like, I just can't see Taysom's body holding up for 17 games anymore. So I think he will be wise to, sign with the team in December, which is why I think that he hasn't formally retired. I think he wants to leave that door open, that him and Sean Payton might have a under the table agreement. Like, Sean Payton is like, hey, if my team is Super Bowl contenders in December and I feel like there's a role for you, I'll call you, and you only got to play 4 or 5 games in 2026 instead of 10 plus games. Vernell also said, as bad as I want Cam back, I think that he is going to be a casualty. Mr. Ripley says, I remember that one game against Taysom where he had like 3 touchdowns in 3 different ways. I remember that. Taysom Hill was undefeated as a starting quarterback against the Atlanta Falcons, by the way, y'all. He owned the Atlanta Falcons. And yet the Falcons fans were always like the fan base talking the most shit about Taysom Hill. And I'm like, that man owns y'all. Like, at some point you got to look yourself in the mirror and say, all right, we got to kind of slow down with the trash talk. Britt also said, though, unlike Elvis, she said, as much as I love the knife, I think it is time for him to go. I think a lot of Saints fans genuine consensus among Saints fans is that Taysom's time is done. Nord LA Who That also says, everyone has a final season, even the greats. He'll wait for an opening due to attrition. If he returns, he's talking about Taysom Hill. Let me see, make sure I get to any final comments. Slim South says, Alvin and Cam still have gas left, but we have to realize the NFL is a cutthroat business. It's unfortunate that Sonya isn't on the show tonight because I know Sonya and maybe Sandra will be ringing the bell hard to bring back Cam, Alvin, and kind of having a rebuttal to some of y'all. And the No podcast says, they restructured Pete Werner's contract last week, so we probably do have the money to sign Kenny Moore, or we can give more money to Cam Joy. I always tell you, when it comes to salary cap also, it ain't our money, y'all. It ain't our money. Like, we follow it because we want to sign big-time free agents, right? So when it really affects our signing of free agents, like where we really can move the needle for us, then yeah, I don't mind following it. Now, when it comes to this point of the offseason where, there's nobody, maybe Kenny Moore, but there's nobody that any team signs at this point in the NFL season that's going to move the needle. There's nobody that the Falcons could sign, the Panthers or the Bucs could sign, and even that the Saints could sign that's going to make everybody go, oh, now they're a real contender. Now, like, there is nothing that nobody can sign. There's no free agent out there. Hence why I'm at this point where I'm like, all right, well, then you know what? Just let AK play out the contract. Let Cam, well, hopefully, I mean, again, Cam needs to agree that he feels that's where his value. But let Cam re-sign, get them one last year, even if they have very diminished roles in 2026. And then in 2027, you can really go, okay, new day, new era. We gave the legends their goodbye. This is kind of more New Orleans Saints. It'll be interesting to see, but as Mickey Loomis did at least allude to, he says, we'll get there over the next week or two. Yeah, because camp is about to start. You can only do we'll evaluate so long to the media. And again, I feel like Kellen Moore and Mickey Loomis already know the answer to what they want to do, but they're just not being blunt about it in public. But sooner than later, we are going to have our answer, because season is a long ways away, but camp and all that is officially picking up this upcoming week. So the vision needs to start being implemented now. The game plans, the playbooks, all that needs to start being implemented now. So Cam and Alvin and all that, decisions need to be made very soon. Well, Alvin at least. Cam could take his time because, he could say, I'll sign in this September. That's been done many times before. We'll see. I'm looking forward to it. I hope that they stay. I do hope that they stay. I think we are a better team in 2026 with Alvin Kamara and Cam Jordan. than without. Because we got a $10 super chat from Ziggy, y'all. Here is my gift to you guys. If you guys were not a part of the Jahmal Barnes show or the Jahmal Barnes channel in my first year, we were throwing a lot of things at the wall to see what would stick and what would land. And of course, one of the things that I got big for first was doing some fun skits. I still do skits, but it's always fun to go back and look at some of my first original skits and kind of judge, did they hold up in time? Were they lame? Were they corny? I mean, they always are going to be corny, but here's one of the first skits that I did on the Jahmal Barnes channel that you might not have seen. But thanks to Ziggy, you get to see in retroactive time.
What the hell?
Number 41, 15-yard penalty, replay first down.
Are you serious?
It's a penalty on the Saints. The ball replaces at the spot of the foul. It remains first down.
Are you serious right now? Bro!
Offensive pass interference on the Saints. That's a 25-yard penalty. Remains third down.
Oh, no. 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 Get out! Get out!
I think that one actually holds up pretty well. It was called How the Refs Treat the Saints. I think it holds up pretty well. The premise was that referees hate us so much that they even follow the players at home and call flags on them. I think if I did that skit again, I think I could execute it better. I think that skit holds up in time. Well, and y'all can tell it. I appreciate the comments. Okay, I see Jerry Lab. My girl Britt always shows love. Look, I know that all of my skits also aren't, don't hold up in time, or maybe not. They can't all be first round draft picks. I'll say. So like, if there's ever a skit where you guys are like, "Hey, John, that was okay." Like, I got thick skin. I can handle it. But I do think that one was one that I think the concept was good. I think I could do it a little bit better if I want to reshoot it. But I like that one. I think it was like a big time content creator who did a skill like that. It would have much more views. It would have had much more views than Lil Jon just starting out with content. Hear me at least. All right, there we go. Jeez, Falcons fans are running my power. What the hell is going on? I think what I'll do next week is I'll play a skit that I think is like, I don't think that skit was too good. But maybe y'all might say, oh, it's great. I'll start playing some skits that I don't think holds up in time. It's the dog days of the offseason. We can kind of have fun with stuff like that and see, from a Jahmal Barnes content perspective, if some of my things are actually funny the way I thought they were in the time when I was shooting them. So I think next week I'll have, if we get our super chat goal, I'll play a skit that I know I'm already thinking about in my head that I'm like, oh, that skit did not go as well as I thought it would in my head. And y'all could be honest with me and say, yeah, John, it was great. Or maybe y'all say, hey, John, I thought it was funny. Hey, comedy is subjective, right? Comedy is subjective. What is not subjective is these credit card transactions that my wife is picking up. Because again, y'all, breaking news. I will be in Paris this October for the Saints and Steelers game. That's right. I was able to find, it was tough, y'all. God, I deserve a Hall of Fame spot in the husband Mount Rushmore. I was able to find my wife's credit card, and I will be going to Paris this October to watch the Saints play the Steelers. And because, hey, here we go. Hold on. Every super chat absolutely helps now, Bruce Saint. So thank you, Bruce Saint, for the $2 super. Bruce, you should have added 83 cents so we could do that 283. But every super chat absolutely helps now because that Paris game is not cheap. And my wife isn't talking to me right now. But again, I think I did it for y'all, because we all know that those Steelers fans travel real well. And even though this is going to be a Saints home game, there's a good chance that the Steelers fans are going to outnumber the Saints fans. So again, I think one Jahmal Barnes can cancel out 10 Steelers fans. And if we get a few more diehard Saints fans to join me in Paris, we can, even if we may be small in numbers, we can out yell the Steelers fans and make it a true home field advantage for the New Orleans Saints. So I took this on the chin for y'all, guys. My wife is a little mad, but I think she'll get over it. She needs to understand that this shit more than the game. She needs to understand. C'est mais et plan conjoint. That's what she needs to understand. So I'll be in Paris with my c'est mais un plan conjoint. I gotta make sure I learn to pronounce that correctly. People in France looking at me stupid. With my shirt on, make sure if you guys are going to Paris, you're just in a French mood, man. Go to www.thisshitmorethanthegame.com. Look at the QR code right there. If you're watching on your computer, just take your phone on and hit that QR code or screenshot this if you're watching on your phone. So then your screenshot will pick it up. Go on thisshitmorethanthegame.com. You can buy the C'est Meur et Play Conjoint shirt because I will be wearing this in France with pride, even with my wife no longer with me. We are going to have a great time in France. I'm very excited about that. Bruce Saint, I see you in the chat. So I got a question for you, Bruce. I remember when Bruce Saint, come on now. I wish my wife was in the chat. Of course she ain't watching right now. She being all moody. You want to get to experience a Saints Paris game maybe once in a lifetime. This is going to be the first Paris NFL game ever. So I was like, honey, I want to be a part of history. Like I'm doing this as a gift to the city of New Orleans and Louisiana. Like I'm going to be able to document this for Saints fans to watch years from now. When my kids have kids, they can watch when great-great-great-grandpa John O'Barnes went to Paris for the first ever NFL Paris game. I'm doing this for y'all, man. My wife doesn't see the vision, but I know y'all see the vision. So even though it put a pretty big dent in her credit card, we're doing this for the greater good of Louisiana and the greater good of time and history, and humanity. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm definitely going to give you guys great content. Now, obviously, my show schedule is going to be a bit thrown off the week after and during, but I'm still going to for sure at least send out some videos from Paris so you guys can kind of get a first-hand point of view of Paris's first NFL game. And I think that Saints fans will really appreciate that. So I'm looking forward to being in Paris. But Bruce saying what the downfall to that is really making my potential appearance at Drew Brees' Hall of Fame questionable. And I remember when he got inducted, Drew Saint, you and I said that we were for sure going to go. And my wife's credit card has a lot of funds, but it does not have a boundless amount of funds. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull off the Canton, Ohio trip for the Hall of Fame, which sucks because I really want to see Drew Brees. And I'm not all the way out yet. I'm still leaving a little bit of the door creaked open. But man, Ohio is expensive, and I'm a little upset with Ohio. I'm like, come on, it's Ohio. Like it's not Florida, not New York, it's not Chicago, it's not Las Vegas. It's Ohio. Some of these prices that Ohio is charging just to go to Canton, Ohio. I'm like, Ohio, do y'all realize that you guys are Ohio? Ohio. You guys are Ohio. You're not New Orleans even. You are Ohio. So why is a plane ticket like $700 to go to Ohio? I understand that y'all realize that, a lot of fans are going to come down for the Hall of Fame weekend. But come on now, you guys are Ohio. Like, we're coming down for the Hall of Fame, and that's it. It ain't like, I'm going to go to Ohio to see this and that. Nigga, we coming down for Drew Brees. We ain't going to see anything else in Ohio. So, all due love to Ohio. I got to kind of see, like, can I actually make an Ohio trip work when I'm about to, I'm spending $10,000 plus in my wife's credit card money on Paris. So it's very questionable. So I was wondering, Bruce Saint, are you still going to be so Bruce Saint stays, we can meet up another time. So I think that Bruce Saint is going to be there. And I hope that Bruce Saint, because I know you kind of have your own YouTube channel. I know that you're not knee deep into content, but if I can't make it, I would love, and I'm not trying to like give you any responsibility, but if you do like vlog a little bit, or you just take like a few videos, that you could post on shorts, I'm sure the Saints community would love to like see a first-hand point of view. Since I likely probably will not be going now because I'm opting to do Paris instead of Canton, Ohio. The Lord might work in mysterious ways. I might still find my way in Ohio in August for Drew Brees' ceremony, but right now, Paris is not cheap. So I'm like, I might have to make a sacrifice. And it's like, okay, well, I do want a little John to eat this fall. So I don't know if I can sacrifice his food for me to go see Drew Brees in Canton, Ohio. But we'll see. But just know that I'm not as sure about Canton, Ohio as I was earlier because the Paris game is happening. But hey, if I keep getting super chats like this from the great Brit, it's the Paris game. It's the day before my birthday. I'm gonna go one day. Brett, I would love for you to go this year, but I know that hey, everybody got their own situations where it ain't like everybody's making great money in this economy right now, right? So, I'm using my wife's credit card. So, I'm sure in the future though, Brett. I don't think this is going to be the last Paris NFL game. So I'm sure that at one point you will be able to go watch the Saints internationally. I know the Saints are playing in Italy as well. I saw that. I don't know if y'all saw. Italy is also another team or country that we are adopting as our home team country or whatever. I kind of felt bad for Paris because I thought for sure it was exclusive to us in Paris, but I guess selfishly it works out for us that there's going to be a Saints game in Italy in the future. And shit, I might have to use my wife's credit card for that game too. It's a good excuse though, to kind of finally travel overseas while getting to see your football team. This is going to be my first time traveling overseas ever. I've done cruise ships to like other places, other continents and shit, but I've never done a plane. I've never done Paris. So this is gonna be a fun week. I'm gonna do my I'm gonna get you guys some great content out there. And if my wife can forgive me, maybe I bought 2 tickets. I mean, goddamn, I didn't just buy one. I bought a ticket for her too. I like surprise. I'm gonna pay her back one day. Goddamn. Y'all know I hurt my back at work. Still waiting for the workers' comp. The government, they keep shutting down, shutting on. It's got my workers' comp in limbo. Okay, but I'm gonna pay my wife back one day. But in the meantime, honey, enjoy being in Paris, man. You getting a free trip to Paris. Enjoy it. Worry about the credit card transaction when the builders do. I'm looking forward to it. Even if that means I got to sacrifice my Canton, Ohio trip. But yeah, I'll see you guys in Paris in October, and we're gonna have a great time on the Jahmal Mosley Show. We're gonna have a great time on this channel, and it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be absolutely fun. So, like I said, all I can say is, "C'est mer et play, Quanju." It's gonna be a great time in Paris. I appreciate you guys for joining the Jahmal Mosley Show tonight. Arnell said, "Let me get to some final comments, and then we'll wrap up." And if y'all have any questions for me, we'll close out. If y'all want to do a quick Q&A, y'all got any questions y'all have for old Jahmal Bones, please let me know in the chat before we close up. The Rams and the 49ers open the season in Melbourne, Australia. Yeah, the NFL is obviously putting a lot of conscious efforts into growing the game internationally. So I think I saw Roger Goodell even allude to the fact that his goal is to have each team play an international game once a year. I know some fans are kind of pushing back on that. I'm not mad at it. Like, hey, you want to grow the game and you want the NFL to be globally, not just tried and true America, then you got to do stuff like this. I know it takes away a home game from certain fan bases on whatever given season, but I've been a season ticket holder for 20 plus years. So I don't at this point lose sleep when I lose a home game to an international game. I've seen every team I wanted to see in my lifetime anyway. I've never been to Paris though, and I'll get to go to Paris. So I'm not mad at the NFL doing this international stuff. Anthony says to stay in the tour. Yeah, if y'all have been to Paris before, please, on my comments, on my Instagram, on my Twitter, my DMs, my mentions, give me some spots to go check out. Maybe it might make my wife become a little bit more excited about the trip. We'll have a good time. I know, like, I got to go do Eiffel. I got to go do Notre Dame. I got to do, probably even go do Disneyland Paris. But, if there's some hidden gems in Paris that most tourists don't know about, let me know. Yeah, gas is tripping. Everything's tripping right now. How I am doing this, not LA, who that? I don't know. But my wife thankfully had enough. It wasn't easy. Again, it wasn't easy, but my wife had enough funds on her credit card that I was able to make it work. She wasn't too happy about it, but I think in October she's going to come around a little bit. I hope, at least. I hope. Every super chat helps. Just know that, y'all. Every super chat helps. All right. Bruce saying, I appreciate that. If you are representing this shit more than a game community at Drew Brees' Hall of Fame ceremony. Look at that, Britt. Even Falcons fans are telling you happy birthday. So, I mean, that's a super early happy birthday, Mr. Ripley, but Britt deserves it. She's freaking awesome. Am I going to eat some French fries? I'm going to eat a lot of croissants. That's for damn sure. A lot of croissants. All right. The Know the Chop podcast asks, how do you feel about the Pelicans hiring Jahmal Mosley as their new head coach? I don't feel strongly either way. One, did y'all watch Wemby last night? None of this shit matters. Okay, for every Pelicans rant I do in the future, just know this. None of this shit matters. The NBA is going to be Wemby's league for the next 10 years anyway. So none of this shit matters at this point. Like, it is Wemby's league. That kid is freaking amazing. I'm a little jealous that we got freaking Zion with our #1 pick. San Antonio got Wimbyana. Like, come on, man. Some cities get all the goddamn love. They just got done with the Tim Duncan, Ginobili, Tony Parker era. Had a little small they had Kawhi in it, now they got Victor Wembanyama. Some cities get so blessed by the sports guys. So none of this shit matters to Know the Chop podcast, because this is the Spurs league for the next 10 years again, because Wembanyama is going to run an NBA for the next decade or so. That kid is freaking amazing. With that said, I think Jahmal Mosley is a good coach. I think it would have been more exciting if we would have hired Rajon Rondo. I think right now, at this point, I cheer for the Pelicans to be more interesting than I cheer for anything else, because the city does not care about the Pelicans. I'm just being honest. I think you, maybe Zig, I see Zig in the chat again, are like the only two people who have, and maybe I know my girl Brittany be showing the Pelicans some love, but the city does not care about the Pelicans. They just don't. Rondo would have got the city's attention. Like Rondo would have been like, oh, even the casuals would have been like, oh, that's interesting. But the Pelicans went for the safe hire. Mosley's a fine coach. Yeah, but I mean, I bet you the casuals don't know who Jahmal Mosley is. It's not making the casuals go, oh, I got to go check out the Pelicans in 2026. I think Mosley could possibly, best case scenario, get us a playoff spot here and there, but I don't think he's going to get us to the finals ever. So, again, and it's not a diss to Mosley. I'm not trying to poo-poo the hiring. I just, again, one, this is Wemby's league now, so none of this shit matters. Two, I prefer at this point the Pelicans to be more interesting than actually whatever the hell that they're doing. But I wish Mosley the best. I see some fans like shitting on the move. I don't know if I would shit on the move. I think he's a good coach. I don't think fans should write him off. I just don't think it's an exciting hire. And I think the Pelicans have so much work to do to get the city's attention, because right now the city just besides the diehards, the city simply does not care about the New Orleans Pelicans. They don't. They have no reason to. The franchise freaking sucks. I'm being honest. And they do not get the city, any reason to care. The Saints are no matter what, like win or lose, they are so ingrained in the city of New Orleans and Louisiana that they could go 8 years worth of playoffs and we're still going to be locked in on the Saints. But unless you're a diehard sports fan, the Pelicans, what they're doing right now, it ain't working. But I wish Jahmal Mosley, but I think he's a fine coach. I think that he hopefully can get us a playoff appearance or two. Vernell asks, what do you think about the player Fadil Diggs? Do you think he can mature into something? You never know. Now, I'm not putting my eggs in the basket that he will, but there's always going to be a surprise player or two on each team that does better than what his projected career outlook was. Juwan Johnson. Nobody thought Juwan Johnson was going to be this. And I know Juwan Johnson is a hard rep from fans, but Juwan Johnson was an undrafted free agent who was on the practice squad for like 2 years. And the fact that he had the career that he had is a good thing. Like he had a good career. Maybe Fadil Diggs does that, but I'm not going to put my money into that. If it works out, great. If not, we're not. The long-term outlook of the New Orleans Saints is not dependent on Fadil Diggs. Arrow asked, what was my reaction to seeing Brock Lesnar return last night? I knew Brock Lesnar was going to return. I did not think that his retirement was legit at WrestleMania. I did not think that it was going to be against Oba again. I thought that they were going to bring it back for SummerSlam against Gunther. I was so locked in on that Spurs and Oklahoma City game that all I saw was the highlights. I see some wrestling fans complaining, but one wrestling fans aren't complaining. It should be a good rematch. I'm not mad at Brock Lesnar returning. I didn't take his retirement serious, so I didn't feel any type of way that the WWE pulled one on the fans. All right, in the final comments, Arrow says, we did not care about basketball since the Chris Paul era. Disagree with that. Anthony Davis had a good run with the Pelicans. I know Anthony Davis is not popular, but he had the Pelicans in the playoffs twice, and he was arguably our best pure talented player. I think CP is the best player in franchise history. I think AD was our best pure talented player that got the casuals' attention at least for a few years when he was having us in the playoffs. Yes, Slim South, Wemby is unguardable. None of this shit matters for the Pelicans. Wemby's about to run the league, so none of this shit matters. Know the Chop podcast says, this is more of a football city than basketball, but I'm still around with the Pelicans no matter what. Hell yeah, me too, the No Chop podcast, because this shit more than the game. I'm not too much of a fan right now of the front office of the New Orleans Pelicans, but I can separate the artist from the art. The artist is the front office. The art is the game of basketball in New Orleans. We have a professional team. As long as we have a professional team in New Orleans, I am going to cheer for professional basketball in New Orleans, because Lord knows we are probably not a city that needs or deserves two basketball teams given our economy. But the fact that we have one, I hope that the city can support the Pelicans, even though they're not giving us a reason to support them. Hopefully you guys can, and Ziggy, let's close out with Ziggy. Ziggy says, the Pelicans is in the same division as San Antonio, so we are screwed. Our best bet is to lead the division. Yeah, hopefully the NBA puts us in the East when the Seattle team and the Las Vegas team comes in a few years. And then we can separate ourselves from Wemby. From your lips, Ziggy, to the basketball guy's ears, and hopefully y'all lips to God's ears himself, that my wife can forgive me for using her credit card to go to Paris. But damn it, y'all, this shit more than the game, and I wanted to give you guys some Paris content. So, like, if my wife is gonna be mad at me, then my wife is gonna have to be mad at me. But I'm a grown ass man. I'm standing on business. I'm doing it for y'all. Set merde a plus Quanjou. If my wife is listening, set me a quan plongeau. I'll see you guys next week on the Jahmal Mosley Show.
Juno.
Can't believe she kicked me out the goddamn bed. Like, how many times she gonna kick me out the house? It's my bed too, goddamn it. Can't sleep on the couch every night, man. I can't sleep on the couch every night. I bought the Paris trip for both of us. I used the credit card for both of us, man. How many times do you want me to sleep on the goddamn couch? I can't do it every night, Clarissa. I want to get back to my bed. I told you I was sorry. I told you I was sorry. Take me like a honeymoon, baby. You can go on a honeymoon. Paris is gonna be fun, man. I'm sorry I used your credit card. I'm gonna take it back when my workers' comp comes, man. This couch ain't comfortable. This couch is for Falcons fans in the playoffs, not for us. Not for me, not for your husband. Yeah, man. Oh shit, am I still online? Y'all didn't see that. Y'all did not see that. I'm going in my bed. My wife ain't got me on the goddamn. I'm a grown ass man, okay? This shit more than the game. Y'all did not see that. Y'all did not.
Juno.